You know, when we think about elite special forces, some names always come to mind, but there are others that operate so far in the shadows, they're practically myths. Today, we're pulling back the curtain, just a little, on one of the most secret and legendary units in the world, Sayeret Matkal.
Their motto, in Hebrew, is Hametz Menatseach. It translates to Who Dares Wins, and if that sounds familiar, it's because they borrowed it from the British SAS. But trust me, this is way more than just a cool catchphrase. It's the philosophy that drives everything they do.
In fact, they're so secretive that inside Israel's own military, they're often just called the unit. That's it. It's not just a cool nickname. It says everything about their culture of total, absolute anonymity. It's a shield that protects who they are, what they do, and how they do it.
All right, so let's jump right in. What do we actually know about this ghost unit? What are the hard facts?
Well, here's what's been declassified. Their official designation is Unit 269, and they've been around since 1957. But here's the most important part. Look at their branch, the Military Intelligence Directorate. This is absolutely key. They aren't just commandos, they're intelligence operatives first and foremost, which gives them this incredible hybrid skill set for things like counter-terrorism and unbelievably risky hostage rescues. So, that begs the question. How on earth do you find people capable of doing this kind of work? Well, it all starts with a selection process so tough, it's become legendary. It's a true crucible, designed to find the very, very few who simply cannot be broken. The whole journey is like a massive funnel. It starts with a pre-selection day called Yom Sayeret. If you somehow get through that, you face the infamous Gibush, a 5-day non-stop physical and mental beatdown. And for the tiny fraction who pass that, the real challenge is just beginning, a 21-month training gauntlet that pushes them to the absolute edge. So what does that look like? Picture this. You're running up and down sand dunes for what feels like an eternity, lugging heavy gear, with almost no sleep. The physical pain is one thing, but that's not really what the instructors are watching. They want to see who you are when you're completely drained. Are you helping the guy next to you, or are you just focused on yourself? That's the real test. Teamwork is everything.
And just look at the physical standards. The gap between just passing and being elite is staggering. A 3K run in under 11 minutes is seriously fast. But then look at the pull-ups, 14 or more with a 15-kilo vest on. That's a whole other level of strength. These numbers aren't just about being fit. They're the absolute bare minimum price of admission to even be looked at.
So yeah, you have to be a physical specimen. That's a given. But is that all it takes? If you're the strongest person there, are you a shoo-in? The answer is a hard no. In fact, all that physical punishment is designed to do one thing, strip you down to see what's really underneath. And that leads us to what the selectors are truly searching for. It's not about the biggest muscles. It's about something much more rare and valuable, the unbreakable mind. This is it. This is the checklist of what they're looking for. And notice, it's all internal stuff. Willpower, determination, perseverance. These are the things that keep you moving when your body has already quit. Adaptability and creativity are non-negotiable for missions where nothing goes to plan. And of course, discretion and teamwork are the absolute foundation of the unit. The one term that ties all of this together is psychological resilience. Now, what does that actually mean? It doesn't mean you're a robot who doesn't feel stress. No, it means you know how to adapt and function while under insane amounts of pressure. It's about bending, but never ever breaking. This quote really nails it. At its core, resilience for these guys is about confidence, not arrogance, but a deep, unshakable belief in their own ability to get the job done, no matter how chaotic or impossible the situation seems. It's the voice inside that says, we can figure this out, we will succeed. So, you find these incredibly tough, resilient individuals. What do you do next? You wrap them in a culture that defines the unit more than anything else, a code of secrecy that is absolute. This is just wild. Think about it. Unlike pretty much every other military unit on the planet, these operators are forbidden from wearing their own insignia. When they're on base, they wear the uniforms and patches of other units just to blend in. Their membership in the unit is a secret they might take to their grave. And their command structure reinforces this secrecy. They don't report to a local general. They don't belong to any regional command. Sayeret Matkal answers to one person and one person only, the highest-ranking officer in the entire Israeli military. This gives them incredible autonomy and protects them, ensuring they are used only for the most critical strategic missions.
So what kind of legacy does a unit that officially barely exists even have? Well, it's a legacy forged in the shadows, one that has had a massive, if unseen, influence for more than 60 years.
You really can't understand Matkal without looking at who inspired them, the British SAS. The whole philosophy of small, independent teams operating deep behind enemy lines comes directly from them. And the connection is so deep that to this day, graduates are supposedly given a copy of a book about the founder of the SAS. It's a nod to their roots.
And for these operators, leaving active duty is rarely the end of their story. Their skill set is just too valuable to let go. Many will continue to serve in the unit's own reserve battalion for decades, while others become prime recruits for organizations like the Mossad, Israel's foreign intelligence agency.
And so, ever since 1957, the unit has existed in this strange space between reality and rumor. For over 6 decades, they have perfected this culture of silence, honing their craft in the dark, and becoming one of the most effective special operations forces the world has ever seen.
Which leaves us with one final, kind of haunting question. By their very design, the unit's biggest victories are the ones we will never, ever hear about. Their success is measured in silence. So, when a nation's sharpest weapon is a ghost, how can we ever truly know its real power?